Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Elise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we will be talking about Titane. Let's get into the video. Written and directed by Julia Ducournau, starring Agatha Russell and Vincent Linden, Titane follows a series of unexplained crimes. A former firefighter is reunited with his son who has been missing for 10 years. So before we get into my thoughts, I just want to say this is the craziest installment of Cars yet. Julia, baby, your mind, I want to just live in it. If you are wondering why the name Julia Ducournau sounds so familiar, it is because she wrote and directed one of my absolute favorite coming-of-age body horror films, Raw. She also worked on a few episodes alongside M. Night Shyamalan for the Apple TV series Servant, which I am so obsessed with. If you have yet to see Servant, you definitely need to. Much like Raw, Titane is yet again another body horror film. Julia continues to wow me in her concepts and storytelling. She is creative and she is not afraid to take risk, which is something I really love and admire about her work. Also, like Raw, Titane feels very human and in many ways, it's so relatable. Though, of course, I am not out here fucking cars, but like to each his own. Agatha Russell gives a powerhouse performance in her acting debut. She was incredibly confident and embraced every single bit of this character, giving the character so much depth even with no dialogue. She was eating up every single scene. I could not take my eyes off of her. We also have a very touching performance alongside her from Vincent Linden, and I really liked his acting style. There was something so warm about him and the way he embraces Alexia. That was just really nice to see. They both worked incredibly well together. If you are a big body horror fan like I am, even though sometimes it can be a little hard to watch, then you'll see that Julia draws a lot of inspiration from David Cronenberg. But what specifically draws me to Julia's work is her ability to make the film so uniquely her own. Anytime I watch a Julia Ducournau film, I feel this closeness and I feel like she understands me as a woman and she just deeply understands what it is like to be human. I mean, like I said before, she is just so unapologetic and knows what she is about, and her films are definitely a reflection of that. Not to mention the way she films scenes is so well thought out and tasteful. In particular, the very first sex scene between Alexia and her car is done very well. We do not spend too much time on it. It never becomes disgusting or vulgar. We don't see too much, and we just get to focus on our actress's face, and we see her wrists tied to the car, and that is all we needed to see. We get enough time with it to see how it affects Alexia. There is never any sex scenes just because, ooh, it's a horror film and like we need sex scenes here. The sex scenes are solely there for a purpose. Women are the future of horror, and I really don't care who is going to dislike hearing me say that.
Welcome to the boss desk!
Honestly, the same way I felt about Raw is how I feel about this film. No one could have told this story like Julia. Titane is also visually gorgeous. I love the color palette of the film, specifically in this shot of Alexia at the doorway of Vincent's house. The lighting on her is very cold and blue, and when she looks over at Vincent dancing in the kitchen, kind of trying to make her comfortable and feel safe with him, the lighting on him is very warm and inviting. Seeing that contrast between the two is beautiful. He is the light and warmth that she has never experienced. Again, Ducournau shows that she really knows how to tell a story not just through dialogue, but visually. And that's what makes her such an incredible director. In interviews for Titane, Julia Ducournau often discusses that darkness and light balance well together. And we see in the film that Alexia doesn't really know who she is before being truly loved. Her father doesn't look at her or even shows her that love when she's young. But once she meets Vincent and they create this bond, such an intense bond that Vincent kind of already knows that she isn't really his son Adrian, but he really didn't care. And he tells her, I don't care who you are my son. And it's in that moment where Alexia is truly unconditionally loved that she comes to life and knows who she is now. And that's another thing I really love about this film is the themes here. It's not just about love, but it's also about trauma. And again, I don't know what it is, but anytime I watch one of Julia's films, I instantly feel a connection. There is something that just resonates with me about her work. Oh, also, the very first scene where my girlie dances on that fire Cadillac is one of the biggest spooky bad bitch moments I have ever seen. And I was absolutely living for it. Honestly, I could watch that scene every single day. And with that being said, I am going to be giving Titane 5 Levs out of 5 because it is simply that good. I highly recommend checking this film out if you haven't yet. But before you do that, I do just want to maybe warn you that this isn't an easy watch at all. This film is not only very emotional, but it is quite gory. And if you're easily squeamish, it may be too hard of a watch for you. But if you did enjoy Raw, then I think you should definitely give Titane a shot. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments, have you seen Titane? What did you think of it? Is it one that you plan on skipping? I don't know, but I would love to talk about it. Also, don't forget to check out my links in the description. I have a link to my Patreon, and there are a lot of fun perks there. And we have a Discord group where I talk with my patrons every day, and it is a fun and safe environment. So if that's something that tickles your fancy, you should come on by. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.